Angola. You know, and they're very useful for the Soviets.
But Castro's military adventures exacted a high price, at home and abroad.
When we would go out on the streets, Angolans would spit on us and call us dirty communists. You are here to colonialize us. All you have brought is death, destruction, and misery. We would ask ourselves, what are we doing here? An entire cemetery of Cubans have died. But we could not leave because the Soviets gave the orders and the Cubans gave the blood, the arms.
When a person dies in Angola in combat, the family knows it maybe 1 year and a half after he dies. And he does not, and the family does not know, never, how he died. They said he fell from a truck, he died in a car accident, never combat bullets is mentioned. But the amount of people who die in Angola in car crashes and falling from trucks, you know, is incredible.
Throughout the developing world, Cuban advisors became an instrument of Soviet foreign policy.
I was in South Yemen as advisor, and I was giving orders, the same as the rest of the Cubans were doing in South Yemen, and the same as the Cubans are doing in Angola. We were giving orders. They have to do it.
I think if you go back and look at what the Soviets have been doing in Africa for the last 20 or 25 years, they haven't done too well. You can think of 2 or 3 countries where the Soviets tried to get a pretty tight grip and failed. What the Soviets were, the opportunity the Soviets were presented with in Angola was a situation whereby going in and supporting one side in a civil war made them indispensable. There's no way that the MPLA government can survive without Soviet hardware and Cuban manpower. This means that the Soviets can use Angola in a number of different ways. It gives them a client that cannot say no. And this is something that they have never had before.
It was Fidel Castro who saw the opportunity to take advantage of the crumbling Portuguese empire. With the Cubans, the Soviets gained a strategic foothold in southern Africa. From here, the Cubans and Soviets launched their airlift to Ethiopia in 1978, demonstrating their combined military capabilities. Cuba's Angolan troops were the first large-scale rapid deployment force. But 15 years of effort have not been enough to win a victory for the MPLA. 15,000 more Cuban troops landed in Angola to be deployed during the battle for Cuito Cardinal. Costly South African intervention evened the balance. For both sides, the commitment to Angola was proving to be of questionable value. The persistence and increasing strength of guerrilla forces such as UNITA began to take a toll on the Soviet Union itself. Withdrawal from Afghanistan, discrediting defeats of the regime in Ethiopia, and the failure to contain UNITA in Angola, the Soviet Union found itself at a crossroads. There had to be a choice between financing foreign wars or saving the economy back home. Mikhail Gorbachev used the military stalemate to pressure the Cubans and the MPLA into U.S.-sponsored peace talks with the South Africans. In exchange for Cuban withdrawal of its troops, South Africa agreed to pull out of Angola and grant Namibia independence. UNITA was not invited to be part of the negotiations. The war drags on as attempts by various African parties to arrange a truce break down. Ceasefire violations and Jonas Savimbi's insistence on the elections promised in the original Alvor Agreement are stumbling blocks.
We want elections, free elections. And if observers from the United Nations, from the OAU, from any free country can come, better for us. And if UNITA is beaten in the polls and they want to pick up guns again, then they are bandits. But I am confident that we will win the elections.
If the democratic ideal of representative government has any meaning in Southern Africa, it must include the peoples of Angola. Successfully overthrowing the mantle of Portuguese domination, they suffer under a new kind of colonialism. For 29 years, they have fought for independence.